What's up guys, how you all doing? Adam here, and I am back for another video, and I'm going to talk about something that causes a lot of controversy for some peculiar reason, because it's just personal preference, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Now, in my last video, obviously I was talking to you guys about my new Mac Pro, and I've got to say a huge thank you for all the comments and the likes, guys. Man, you're hitting that button like crazy, people. The comments have just been really nice, but obviously you do get the odd one which is detrimental towards the Apple ecosystem. You know, we're all kind of used to it, and I thought to myself, actually, let me think about it in my own mind. Why do I use Apple products? Why do I love Macs so much? And I started to kind of think about why I do prefer the Mac ecosystem over another one, you know, Linux or Windows, for example. And I thought I'd make a video about it. The problem is that I came up with so many reasons why I use these products over and above everything else that I'm not going to be able to fit them all into this short video. But I'm going to go through a few of them. Now, first of all, and it's really the most important one, and that is I like them. It's just a personal kind of feel, a vibe. I just like them, and really that should be enough for everybody to appreciate, but obviously it's not in a lot of cases. And I find it bizarre that people object to other people's preference when it comes to something as non-emotional as technology. It literally blows my mind. The people that are so against something just because of a brand name that is really not offensive in any way whatsoever really kind of lower themselves to an intelligence level that is less than Donald Trump's, which is really kind of saying something. But let me get into why I personally use Macs, and I think the best way to do that is to run through a little bit of history. When I first finished school, and I left school at a very young age, my first real kind of job in this kind of industry, the industry that I'm in now, the IT industry, I was actually coding punch cards on a System 36 mainframe machine for a manufacturing company. And then I moved on to COBOL and an AS400, and then we moved on to Unix boxes, IBM Unix boxes, and then we moved on to Solaris. And then I introduced a whole bunch of other technologies into my kind of knowledge base, if you like. So started on Novell, Windows 3.11, Server, NT351, and in fact, if you go back even further, I was actually building 286, 386, 486 machines with my dad for his company. So I've got a huge background in all kinds of different computing architectures, but really my foundation was a Unix-based foundation, and Windows came kind of a little bit later on for me. Now, I've got a huge amount of Windows qualifications, Microsoft qualifications, and have done for the past 20 years. I've designed infrastructures and architected infrastructures for huge businesses around virtualization, desktop virtualization, a whole bunch of different things, right up to over 100,000 users. Now, that means that I have a hugely comprehensive understanding of Windows, so it's got nothing to do with anything like that. But there came a time when I had Windows laptops for a very long time, and I just thought I wanted to try something different. And I was always one of these people that was like, oh, Macs, that's kind of silly, you know, they've only got one mouse button, the sort of things that get said. But I thought I would try one, and I think it's only when you start to use them that you kind of just gain this love for them. And for me, having a Unix-based computer rather than something that is based around DOS, PowerShell and registry was just hugely beneficial for me in the work that I was doing. And it was so nice to step away from sitting on servers that were always Windows predominantly, and to have something different to use in my personal life. And when the creative side came in with photography and videos and YouTube, it just really sort of lent itself to that kind of environment. And as time's gone on, the ecosystem has developed so substantially that it's huge for me. So let's go through some kind of more basic reasons. It sounds simple, but the continuity between devices, the ability to just pick up on one device and carry on where you left on the other one through all applications, but especially things like text messaging, not having to use SMS, the fact that I can answer phone calls on my Mac when I'm working. All these little things that actually improve your workflow so considerably and make you much more efficient. And when time is your most valuable resource, saving seconds and minutes here and there, it actually becomes quite a huge thing. So for me, that continuity between everything, especially communications of basic things like I say, like phone calls and messages without having to pick your phone up or move over or even glance away from your screen is hugely beneficial. Then we get the hardware. Now again, this is probably personal preference, but the hardware to touch, to feel, to pick up, it's just beautiful. It's of the highest standard. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Yes, maybe the specs aren't as good as they could be, but the actual hardware itself, it makes it a pleasure to work on, and that just makes me have a little bit of a glow about the way that I'm feeling, and I feel nice using it. So that's a huge thing for me as well that I really enjoy. There's a whole bunch of other stuff for me on the mobile side of things, which is not quite so interesting to me. I literally use Apple devices because the apps are better than Android apps, and I spend my time in apps, not on the operating system itself, and because it's so integrated with my Macs. And that really makes a huge difference for me. The other thing is as well, the hardware. Like I say, I spent a lot of my youth building computers. I've built computers my whole life. It's not something that I want to do now. I don't want to be finicking around inside things. It's annoying to me that I've even got to go in and add some memory on the Mac Pro or change the processor. I really don't want to be faffing around with water cooling and all that kind of stuff. Any spare time that I've got, I'd rather spend with my family rather than kind of building PCs and messing around with stuff like that. Some people also say to me, why don't you use a Hackintosh? You can get so much better value for money. Hackintosh doesn't support iMessage, which means instantly that it's of absolutely no use to me whatsoever. And the finickiness of it and the fact that you can't instantly upgrade, it's just a no-no for me. So it's not really that I dislike Windows as such. A huge part of my work is on Windows, and like I say, I'm hugely qualified and certified in Microsoft technologies. It's just the other things that actually make me love to use Mac in my personal time more. I know it's not hugely technical and I'm not comparing this versus this and etc, 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 but this is just kind of my own personal take on it and how I look at it. I hope that was useful to you guys. I wanted to chuck this quick video out today to keep on this roll. I've got some other ones coming out. I've got a really good home automation video that I'm working on at the moment. So if you want to see that, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. And I've also got some other really cool hardware videos coming up as well around storage. I've got a load of technical videos coming out around enterprise type computing as well. So yeah, some cool stuff coming. Thank you very much for watching. I'm genuinely hugely appreciative of all the support you guys have given me after such a long layoff. Hope you have a great weekend, a great week, and I will see you all in the next video.